तो आज हम यहाँ पे हैं कनाडा इंडिया फाउंडेशन द्वारा आयोजित जो गोल्फ टूर्नामेंट है उसके लिए। तो मुझे यहाँ आके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। एक तो कनाडा इंडिया फाउंडेशन जो भारत और कनाडा के बीच में जो पारस्परिक संबंध हैं उनको बहुत मजबूत करने में एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट कड़ी है। उसके अलावा ये जो गोल्फ टूर्नामेंट है इसके जो प्रोसीड्स हैं वो फॉलन सोल्जर्स बोथ इंडियन एंड कनाडा में जो उनकी फैमिलीज़ को जा रहे हैं। तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है इस जो गोल्फ टूर्नामेंट है इसका पार्ट बन के। और मैं आशा करती हूँ कि इस कनाडा इंडिया फाउंडेशन इसी तरह से और भी अच्छे काम करता रहेगा। धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much for supporting this great event, and I'm so obligated to all my friends at CIF and non-CIF members who want to be or who are wannabe CIF members. I welcome you all. Let's give a big hand to today's day, CIF Golf Tournament. You know, I normally don't read a brief, but today, because we have the defense minister with us, I have to speak and read. Welcome Honorable Anita Anand, Minister of National Defense. There are lots of Army officers here from India, Air Force, Indian Navy, as well as from Canadian Armed Forces. Our Honorary Colonel Hari Pandey, where are you, Hari? Thank you for being here and bringing the team from Canadian Forces. As usual, you have always made us very proud. I also want to thank the 32 Brigade Group and the 4th Canadian Division. Mr. Anand, I'm truly grateful for you taking the time out of your extremely busy schedule to be with us. Thank you. I'm also very thankful for the members of our Canadian Armed Forces, led by Honorary Colonel Hari Pandey, who wanted to play in this tournament but couldn't find the time, and here this evening to grace our occasion. I also want to thank the 7th Toronto Regiment Associate Band Quintet for providing the music this evening, and to all the players and guests who made this fundraising golf tournament a great success. I think it's a great success because I think we are going to raise over $100,000 for tonight for the great cause. And you know, the thing is that we cannot forget our sponsors. My lead sponsor, Fruitsy. Vivek, thank you. Another big sponsor was Aditya Birla Group, who unfortunately could not be a part of the team here today. And all the rest of the sponsors, whether it was a trophy sponsor ICICI Bank, and others like Rogers, who have paid big dollars to be with us today. And I'm so thankful and obligated. Thank you guys. Thank you. Even if you are a whole sponsor or whether you are a big sponsor, but I want to give you a big thank you. Thank you, every one of you. I would now like to take a moment of silence for two departed CIF warriors. Our friend Deepak Ruparel and our ex-executive director Mayank Bhatt. Can I please ask you to hold a moment of silence for these two departed warriors of Canada India Foundation. For just 5 seconds. If you feel comfortable, please do get up out of these chairs and let's do that for the two departed souls. Thank you. For those two departed souls, we salute them for whatever they did for us and for Canada and India relationship. I would now to invite Satish and Ritesh, our chair and national convener, to come and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Excellent. The weather was nice, excellent weather, and we could not have asked more. And we saw a lot of excitement, and looking at the faces of everyone with the energy, I think everybody has a great game. Thank you all. And it's because of all of your support that we have been able to carry this event year after year and making it bigger and bigger every year. So this is the first time in CIF history that we have 288 golfers today. And this could not have been possible without the strong team led by Anil Shah. And he not only does anything he picks up with wholeheartedly, with the passion, he also brings a lot of energy. His energy is infectious. You can see his voice screaming all across the golf course. So thank you Anil and your whole team for your commitment and to this noble cause which we picked up in last few years. And it's been growing, and it's the generosity of each and every one of you present in this room that we've been able to not only raise fund for the families of the fallen soldiers, but also we have created a fund to fund the higher educations of the kids of the fallen soldier family from India who want to come and pursue higher education in Canada. So it's because of your support and generosity that we've been able to do, and we want to make it year after year this a great and bigger event. And please continue supporting this cause. And friends, also a very special thanks to our minister for taking time. We know how busy you are, and we have a deep respect, admiration for all the work you've been doing, making us all very proud. Thank you so very much, and taking time out to join us. And of course, our very dear Consul General of India in Toronto, thank you so very much for joining us. And of course, John, thank you. And friends, of course, not taking too much of your time, I would like now ask, before I pass on to Ritesh, our annual gala is approaching, which is on September 30th. You can see that Global Indian Award Gala. This is one of the biggest of Indo-Canadian community, most sought after gala. And we know that we could not host in person for last 2 years. And we are looking forward to your support on September 30th. And please stay tuned with us for any information. And we look forward to we are expecting over 1,000 guests on that day, and looking forward to your full support. And stay tuned with the CIF's activity. And now let me pass on to Ritesh Balik to invite our the sponsor of this evening, and say a few words as well. Ritesh.
Thank you, Satish ji. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so very much to each one of you for making this a great event today. This is one of the best golf tournaments we've hosted in long time, particularly post-COVID. It's good to see all of you together playing and having great time at the course today. Just want to share one thing before I invite Vivek on the stage. A lot of people have been asking us, and we keep getting this question, what do we have in common with Canadian Army, Canada India Foundation and Canadian Army? We've been raising funds for the fallen soldiers' families and them for last couple of years. So, just a thought, we all, Anil, myself and Satish, we talked about it and we said, just like Canadian Army, Canada India Foundation has no direct conflict with anyone, but we'll do anything for friends and families. So this is, I think, what we have in common with Canadian Army. We're really happy to support Canadian fallen soldiers and fallen soldiers in India. And now I would like to invite our lead sponsor today, Vivek Dhume, to come. Without his help, this wouldn't have been possible, and to say a few words.
Thank you, guys. I don't think I have much words to say because it's such a noble cause. We are just a health-based company. We manage produce from different parts of the world, support the farmers all the way to the retailers. And we've been very active into the South Asian market, probably going to be here active in the North American market. When we heard this cause, it was probably the best thing we could do to be a part of it. And I think everything was done so wonderfully. I believe that this could be a great opportunity for all of us to thank CIF to do all this wonderful job, and we'll keep and support and do whatever we can. So they're trying to commit me for 3 to 5 years, but I will do my best to be doing what it is. But thank you so much for everything, and I think it was a wonderful work.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you, Ritesh. Thank you, Vivek. Appreciate it. Friends, just so that you know, in the past 5 years, CIF Golf Tournament has raised $320,000. Before you finish your clapping, let me finish it. Of the $320,000, $240,000 has been given away for the charity to the families of fallen soldiers, whether it's in Canada or in India. That deserves a big hand. 75% of the money raised was paid out. So my friends, this event is a very important event to my heart, and I'm positive to every one of you and every one of your heart. I'm not asking you to pay any more money now. You guys have paid enough, we have done enough, and I'm sure you all had a great time. I now have to put my glasses up because without that I cannot read. In addition to this golf tournament that we do, we also have the Global Indian Award that Satish just mentioned. We are having this award ceremony on 30th of September, and we obviously are looking forward to your support and come. But the activities of Canadian Armed Forces is what has always been of interest to us. With the help of our dear Hari Pandey, for me it's very difficult to call the Colonel. I'm sorry. You're Hari and Hari Pandey to me, and it will always remain that. But your contribution to us to bring the Canadian Armed Forces to on this platform has been wonderful. So we do thank you for that. Now allow me to introduce our chief guest, Minister Anand. The Honorable Minister Anand was born and raised in Nova Scotia. She moved to Ontario in 1985. I don't know, when did you move to Oakville? 20 years later? All right. Prior to entering into the political life, Minister Anand worked as a scholar, a lawyer, a researcher, and a significant contributor to her community now in Oakville and many other areas. She has been a legal academic, including as a professor of law at the University of Toronto. She served as Associate Dean and was a member of the governing board of Massey College and the Director of Policy and Research at Canadian Markets Research Institute, Rotman School of Management. She also taught law at Yale Law School, Queen's University and Western University. Guys, can I please ask you to keep your voices a little low? If you don't mind, please, please. Thank you. Minister Anand was first elected as a Member of Parliament from Oakville, for Oakville in 2019. She is currently serving as our Minister of National Defence, one of the most important cabinet roles in the Canadian government. In her previous role as the Minister of Public Services and Procurement, I know for certain she moved mountains to meet the challenges of COVID-19. Let's give a big hand for that. You know how somebody has put it up? She took concrete actions under, or rather she took perfect actions under a lot of imperfect conditions. You continue to demonstrate your leadership, ma'am, on the global scene, such as the war in Ukraine, and as new geopolitical challenges and threats to global peace and the order emerges in various regions. Minister Anand, you're a devoted leader, a mom, and a role model for a lot of Canadians, including me. Particularly, besides me, the whole of Indo-Canadian community. We are very proud of you. I am very proud of you and thoroughly impressed with you, being a pillar under the leadership of Right Honorable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please ask you everyone please to keep quiet for a few minutes? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Minister Anand to say a few words.
Well, thank you so much, Anilji. I really appreciate that.
I like it.
And namaste. Good evening, everyone, and bonjour. Merci d'être ici avec nous aujourd'hui, and thank you, Ritesh, as well, for all the work you've done in organizing the tournament. I want to just say how wonderful it is to be here with the Canada-India Foundation Charity Golf Tournament this evening. And let me say, in my prepared remarks for this evening, my staff have put in here, add personal anecdote about golf. So I guess I will just say I had a golf lesson, one golf lesson last year, and I learned my grip, and I will keep working so one day I can participate in the Canada-India Foundation. I can't promise that I'll be an amazing golfer, but I will come and I will golf.
That would be a pleasure.
I want to acknowledge acknowledge that we are
And we won't charge you.
Okay. We are gathered on Treaty 18 lands, also known as the Lake Simcoe Nottawasaga Treaty, the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe. And I also would like to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of both Mayan Bakht and my good friend and mentor, Deepak Gurpura. Deepak, as you know, was a tireless advocate for our community who cared deeply and generously gave of his time to anyone in need. And our hearts break this week and will continue to break for the passing of these incredible people. They will be dearly missed. I'd like to thank the Consul General of India, Apurva Srivastava. It's great to see you again. Thank you so much for coming. I'd like to acknowledge the Indonesian Ambassador, Daniel Tumpul Simanjuntak. Thank you for coming, sir. It's great to see you here in Canada, and thank you for representing your country so well. And I'd like to thank everybody at the Canada-India Foundation, Satish, Ritesh, Sunita, Girish, Hima, Anil, Indra. It's great to see everybody here. Without you, this event just wouldn't be possible. So I just want to say a couple of things about the Canadian Armed Forces. And since I've been the minister, which was at the end of October last year when I was appointed, it has been an incredible time in the Canadian Armed Forces. When I came in, there was no war in Ukraine, and the top priority for me, given to me by the Prime Minister, was to ensure that we build a Canadian Armed Forces where everyone who puts on a uniform feels safe, respected, and protected. A Canadian Armed Forces that is free from discrimination, and one in which everyone can continue to serve our country well. And today, Indo-Canadians continue to make strong contributions to Canada's defense team in innumerable ways. We know that throughout history, in times of peace and in times of conflict, Indo-Canadian Armed Forces members and Indian Armed Forces members have brought unique perspectives to the role. And I just want to thank you all for the ways in which you serve our country, and in particular, the Forces members who are here this evening. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment to the Canadian Armed Forces. I can't tell you how motivated and inspired I am by the Canadian Armed Forces. Whether it is helping out in COVID-19, in long-term care homes, in delivering vaccines, in fighting forest fires, in helping flood-ravaged areas, the Canadian Armed Forces every single time answer the call of duty. And I am so grateful. Our country is so grateful. And now, as you know, as Anil mentioned, we also have a war, which none of us expected, or at least I didn't expect when I was appointed to the role. And our lives changed on February 24th when Russia further invaded Ukraine and began an unprovoked, unwarranted, and illegal confrontation, devastation, and genocide in Ukraine. And this is a priority for our government to address Ukraine's military, humanitarian, and economic needs, and we will be with Ukraine in the short and the long term. And just to conclude, thank you so much again for having me here this evening. I'm honored that you asked me to come. I'm honored to be your Minister of National Defense. And when I look, thank you. And when I look at the horizon, I see a Canada that is home to over 1.4 million Indo-Canadians. I am so grateful to to organizations like the Canada-India Foundation for your important work to advance our common goals of diversity and inclusion and helping the children of Forces members writ large. This is wonderful benevolence, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your work. Thank you so much again. I hope you had a wonderful day.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are two small formal things that we need to accomplish. I know Minister Anand has to leave. I hope she doesn't, but she has to leave at 7:45. That's what I've been given. So we got.
We're going to do trophies. We're going to do trophies.
No, we're going to do something better first. First and foremost, I would like the representative of the Canadian Armed Forces to come here for a comment.
That would be amazing.
We're going to give this ceremonial check.
Okay.
You will hand it over.
Okay.
Please, guys, officers from Canadian Armed Forces, please.
Sure you don't want to come up, guys?
I'm feeling shy. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
One picture.
Thank you.
Now may I please invite Satish and Brijesh along with our Indian Armed Forces people. Come on guys, help us out. Please come. They're retired, so that's why they're not able to be in the uniform.
Otherwise, why can't we give to Canadian Armed
No,
Forces?
it's not. She's the one who's giving.
Yes.
One of the most exciting events of today is a 50-50 cash raffle. Last year, Minister Anand, what we did was we had a car which we raffled. And one individual from our CF fraternity, she won the car. It was her draw. And then she was so kind enough to generously give the car back. And I managed to do the live auction of that car. We raised an additional 32,000. So I would like to invite Indira Khurana, who had won that particular car. It was a Mustang. Unfortunately, this year we don't have a Mustang. She won the car and donated it back. So today we're going to give her a little token of appreciation from your hands to her.
Okay.
What we have pictured here is the Mustang car, and she giving it back to
Oh,
us.
that's great.
Isn't that an amazing thing? So this year, guys, when we do the raffle, and if you win, you have the right to give the money back. Come on. That's yours. Okay. And what we are going to do is now, we're going to do the raffle. Don't go away, Mira, please. We're going to do the raffle. Please bring the drum. Minister Anand, you're going to take it. She's going to make the announcement. And if somebody from here wins, I want that person, I hope you will, give the cash back to CIF for the church. Ladies and gentlemen, please hold your breath. It could be you who's winning it. There's no name on it. So there's another one. Ticket number 0168. Oh my God. Can you believe a devil's luck? She's the one who keeps winning it. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, what's happening now? Do you want the cash back? Or you're giving back? I don't know what the amount is. It's about $15,000 or maybe 20. Yeah. So what do you want to do? Wow! Let's give a big hand to this young lady. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never understood this. But, you know, when Lady Luck smiles at you, there is no one who can touch it. This lady is a lucky girl. Congratulations and thank you for giving it back to Canada India Foundation. Pleasure. Thank you. Wonderful. Guys, give a big hand to this young lady. We got two more small things to do.
Next month, me and my wife are going to Vegas. I'll pay for your ticket.
Sure, fine. I don't even have my tickets here. Thank you.
I would like now our Consul General of India, Mrs. Srivastava, to come and say a few words.
Thank you, Anil Bhai. First of all, I'm really delighted to be here, Honorable Namaskar, good evening. Really delighted to be here for such a noble cause. You know, CIF is like a family to me, and always it's like a comfort zone for me. So whenever I come here, it's like a family surrounded by friends. So always a pleasure, and especially delighted to be part of this wonderful event where, with such a noble cause of where the proceeds are going to the fallen soldiers both in India and in Canada. Grateful for Minister Anand to be here for this wonderful cause as well. My golf story is only one. Anil Bhai tried to teach me once and he failed miserably. So, I mean, this is my last year in Toronto, so I can't promise that I'll play next year. But definitely had a wonderful experience here, and thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
After last year meeting, Honorable Minister Anand, Consul General Srivastava, and among us we also have former Ambassador Bhandari here with us, CIF leadership, our corporate sponsors and golfers, my colleagues from the Canadian Armed Forces from 32 Service Battalion, 32 Brigade Group and the 4th Canadian Division Headquarters who golfed here today, and our 7th Toronto Regiment Associate Band Quintet that is here, that provided the music. They'll still be here playing some music for you. First and foremost, as the chairman of the Toronto RCSC Associate Fund, I would like to thank Anil Shah, Satish Thakkar, and the CIF leadership for their dedicated and consistent support for Canadian and Indian Armed Forces. This is my 12th year serving in the Canadian Armed Forces as the Honorary Colonel for 32 Service Battalion. Secondly, I want to thank CIF for taking its message to mutual benefit to captains of industry who are present here and in their network. In addition to the financial support these captains of industry are spreading, they're also spreading the word about the career opportunities for our new generation that Canadian Armed Forces that they can consider, and also help diversify the composition of Canadian Armed Forces. At the same time, these captains of industry have the opportunity to recruit our personnel in the reserve forces, both serving and retiring, and moving into civilian job market. Our members in the armed forces are skilled, loyal, and resourceful. Under Minister Anand's leadership, Canada's defense policy of being strong, secure, engaged remains at the center, and that has a long-term vision and features the flexibility to respond to a changing world. In addition, fresh investments in defense infrastructure are being made to ensure military personnel and their families have access to modern and functional facilities that support the needs of a military family and the members all around the country. Madam Minister, this is in my personal and civilian capacity. We are very proud of you and the work you are doing and sailing through a very complex geopolitical ecosystem and an extremely busy schedule, including just this morning your virtual participation in the Copenhagen Conference for the Northern European Defense Allies of Ukraine. In addition, you and the government are paying attention to the world affairs, but also to our local communities with the support of the return of Tennis Canada's National Bank Open Tournament and the Boots and Hearts Music Festival operated by Republic Live. And this combined investment is provided through the major festivals and event support initiative. Thank you immensely, and we look forward to your continued engagement with the Canadian Armed Forces, and thank you for your continued leadership. Thank you, Hari. You know, I'm sure every one of you are hungry. Are you? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. Are you hungry? Yes. So let's have food first before we do the final trophy presentation. Let's do the food. Okay, so I don't know how we're going to organize that, but I suggest let the minister and this table, reserve table, have the meal first, and then everyone else can go one at a time if you can, because there is going to be a chaos otherwise. Please proceed.
I am so pleased to be here at the Canada-India Foundation Golf Tournament, which is raising money for the children of fallen soldiers. Last year and this year, the tournament is raising over $100,000, and this is such a contribution to the lives of children of fallen soldiers. And I'd also like to shout out the Canadian Armed Forces and the Indian Armed Forces for the work you do every day to protect your countries. Canada will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine in its fight for sovereignty, stability, and security. We've already donated over $600 million of military aid, and we will continue to be there with economic, humanitarian, and military aid for Ukraine. Just this morning, I participated in a conference virtually taking place in Copenhagen, where we made sure that we were discussing demining, military aid, and further funding for Ukraine as it fights to win this war.